we're going to go live. All right. And good afternoon, Royals fans, and we welcome you to this live stream coverage of OCAA women's basketball here at the Redeemer Athletic Center. The first home game back from the Christmas break, and the Sheridan Bruins make their way down the 401 to Ancaster for this matchup. Two teams that are struggling a little bit in the standings. Redeemer comes into this game 1-9, Sheridan 2-7. Redeemer has dropped their first two games of the semester against Mohawk and Conestoga respectively, whereas for Sheridan this is just their second game, returning from the break following a pretty crushing defeat on Sunday 89-32 at the hands of the Fanshawe Falcons. We thank you for joining us. My name is Will Dykstra, joined by my friend Jared Meyer here in the booth. And Jared, the first game back, it's an afternoon game. Some weather events this week making practice schedules a little bit difficult, but we should be in store for a pretty important game in the OCAA standings.
Absolutely.
We'll get to the starting lineups here for Redeemer in just a moment. But for Redeemer, of course, they had their sole win of the season come in the first semester. They're still looking for that first win following the break in 2026. And so Redeemer's starting lineups, we'll get to them here as they are introduced. Sophia Vinralti, that's number 7. She's the first year for the Royals. She's had a pretty good start to this season. She'll be joined by Ava Van Howlen, in addition to, of course, Talia Brudenhill, the fourth-year senior, who will be starting running down the middle for the Royals. And so just about set to go here for this first game of our doubleheader. We'll have, of course, the men's game starting off at 2 o'clock. We'll have Stephanie Blair taking this tip-off against Brudenhill at midcourt. Sheridan in the blue, Redeemer in the white, and ball is in the air, and we are ready to go. Sheridan does control the tip, and that'll be Kalar, the point guard, and she'll flip it all the way down the court. A wide-open layup for Katie Wu, and Sheridan is on the board first. And here comes Vinralti down the other way for Redeemer. She'll stop, pivot, back to her left hand. Shot is short. Rebound tipped in the air, gathered by the Bruins. And this will be Brown Francis the other way. Picked up well in transition. Here's Kalar trying to set up the offense. Screened by Blair. And that's a nice shot from 15 feet out. That'll go off of a Sheridan player and out of bounds. So Redeemer coming up with the stop. And they'll have the baseline out of bounds here in their own end. Sheridan coming out with a man press. It'll be a 3-man front, and that's a turnover. Sheridan picking up an early steal on the press. Here's Kalar at the line. She'll give it off. That's going to be a 3 from Brown Francis. Too strong. Rebounded by Brudenhill. Redeemer trying to push quickly in transition here. And that pass is tipped by Stephanie Blair. Was looking for Vinralti coming up from the right corner. So an inbound here, 16 seconds on the shot clock, 9:05 to go in the first quarter. That inbound is tipped out of bounds by Brown Francis. It'll stay on this side. And we mentioned Redeemer coming into this game following a loss against Conestoga. Sheridan, of course, also coming in off of a loss. Both of those losses being on the road. Here comes Lazenby inside. She'll be fouled, and she will go to the line for 2. And Redeemer will have their chance to open the scoring from the free throw line. And so Lazenby is good on the first. Lazenby, the second year out of Ancaster. She played her high school basketball locally here and continues to make an impact for the Royals. And she'll be 2 for 2. So tie game, a minute gone by here in the first quarter. Sheridan bringing in a full court screen as Kalar sets things up. Blair setting the screen, cutting back inside. Nice dish off to Stephanie Blair, and she'll flip it in for two. The assist from Caitlin Kalar on the screen and roll. The bounce pass was perfectly executed. And Vinralti will come the other way for Redeemer. She'll go right to the rim. That shot was blocked by Blair. No foul. And it'll go out of bounds off of Vroodenhill. So Vinralti trying to push the tempo in transition. Seems to be a bit of a very viable threat for the Royals. But not so there. And so Brown Francis guarded in the full court by Van Howlen. She'll give it off. Here's Blair going against Vroodenhill. And that'll be a foul called on the floor. Vroodenhill cutting off Blair on the drive as she was driving to her left, and she'll pick up the foul. It's her first of the game. The first team foul on Redeemer. And so it'll be 14 seconds on the shot clock. 8:23 to go here in the first quarter. This will be Katie Wu to inbound. The cross screen inbounded to the Sheridan player there. Kick to the corner by Blair. It's a nice kick. The floater attempt by Kalar is off. Rebounded there by Van Howlen. So Sheridan 1 for 4 on their opening field goal attempts of this game. And Lazenby is guarded aggressively by Brown Francis. She'll get it away. Here's a chance with numbers forward. Vinralti cutting inside. Kick back out to Van Howlen. 7 on the shot clock for Redeemer. Van Howlen will put it up for 3. And that one is off the front of the rim. Rebounded inside by Vroodenhill. That putback is no good. And another offensive rebound for Lazenby. And she flips it up. And this time, the foul is called. Brown Francis was defending. And so Lazenby will go to the line for the second time in this game to try and draw this game level. 2 minutes and 15 seconds gone by.
Now, I know there have been a couple games this season where Redeemer's only had about 2 or 3 subs to go to on the bench, but looking at their bench today, they've got 6 options, fully dressed, no one in, their casual clothes who's not available today. So that's a good point for Redeemer going forward today, having some more options to go to off the bench, maybe adding some people over the break, but that's a good sign for the Royals.
Yeah, and it's something that you see with these longer extended breaks in the OCAA. You have a couple of weeks off during Christmas to really get back in action. And something that's definitely haunted the Royals in previous seasons, those short benches we see. This game looks like they've got some options. 5 players, a full hockey sub, if you will, if it's needed. So Kalar will go to the line here, and right on cue, we'll see the first 2 substitutions of the game for Redeemer. We're going to see Abigail Hoogland come into the game, and we'll also see number 3. That's Zoe DeYoung. DeYoung, who's started a couple games this season, especially in the first semester. She will come in off the bench as the substitute point guard. The first free throw from Kalar is off the mark. And we talk about Zoe DeYoung, the first year. She has played in 8 games this season, so she's missed some time. But in those 8 games, she's averaged 33 minutes per game. So potentially a player that's, going to need to get a little bit of action in this second semester to get back into it. But we'll see if she'll match those minutes here in the second semester. Here is Brown Francis on the outside, guarded by DeYoung. Brown Francis going in with her left hand, and we're going to see a foul called on the ground before the shot. So a baseline inbounds play here. I believe it's going to be DeYoung who will pick up the foul. It'll be her first, having just checked into the game. And so a baseline out of bounds. Brown Francis to inbound. She'll inbound to Blair on the left side against Hoogland. Backing down, kicks it back out to the top of the key. Step back, 3-pointer put up, and that one is well short from Kiara Griffith. And it'll be Royals ball on the baseline, 7:17 to go. Sheridan leads 5-2, and they'll bring up this full court press again. The inbound here, flipped up the middle, looking for Vroodenhill. It's a nice catch, being guarded by Omasifi there. Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. That's Michelle Baranova, rather, who's been brought in to guard Talia Vroodenhill. And she'll actually pick up the foul there in the full court. So 3 team fouls each. Van Howlen will inbound, flipped over the top to Vroodenhill, guarded by Baranova in that left corner, right by the Redeemer bench. Sheridan showing the double team. Rudenhill kicks it out. Left-handed drive by Van Howlen. She gets inside, and she'll pick up the foul. And that's a nice inside-out action inbounding to Rudenhill. We saw the double team being shown, and the nice inside-out action to get Van Howlen. Attacks the long closeout, gets inside with the left hand, and she'll get a chance to shoot 2 at the line. Van Howlen misses the first year guard, also local talent. She averages 4.5 points per game on the year. She's 0 for 2 from the free throw line there. She's battling for her own rebound, but unable to keep possession. It bounces off her knee. So Sheridan has the inbound here. 3 minutes gone by. And now Redeemer showing a little bit of full court press. Sheridan having to set some screens in their own backcourt to open things up. And it'll be Bianca Vinta to carry the ball up the court here. Swing pass. The screen being shown by Baranova. Out to Blair in the back, in the left corner by the Sheridan bench. Here comes Vinta driving. Leaves it off to Baranova. Puts it up with the right hand on the left side. And that's a nice inside out. Kiara Griffith, leaving it off for Baranova, who's got her first points of the game. And so Rudenhill now attacking Baranova to her right. She'll draw the secondary level of defense inside. Rudenhill looking for an outlet pass. She kicks it. Here's the 3 from Van Howlen, and it's good. And that's a nice shot from the left corner. Rudenhill picking up the assist. Sheridan attacking quickly, though. But steps is the call on Bianca Vinta. So Redeemer with a nice possession on each side of the court. Rudenhill picking up the assist on the three-pointer to Van Howlen, and then forcing the turnover on the other side of the court. That's what you like to see from your big, locating those shooters on the outside.
Yeah, dare I say some Jokic-esque play from Talia Rudenhill, bringing the ball up the court, working in the post, and a nice swing pass to the corner. Great play.
That's a great reference, and they'll go right back to it here. Kick out. Here's Hoagland for 3, and that one is off. And they go right back at it. Rudenhill drawing a lot of attention from those perimeter defenders. And here is Brown Francis now. She'll stumble with her dribble a little bit, gets it off to Blair. Blair will think about it. She'll put up the 3 off the left rim. Rebound is grabbed by Van Howlen, and it was tipped out of her hands by the Sheridan pressing defender there, but it'll stay with the Royals as they're down by 2 with 5:43 to go in the first quarter. So Stephanie Blair will actually take a substitution here. Sheridan will bring in Katie Wu once again, or that might be Solana Vale. We'll get a good look at it in a second here. Rudenhill will hand this off to Lazenby, who's checked back in. Hoagland showing a bit of a 2 high post action here for the Royals with Rudenhill and Hoagland at opposite elbows. And we've seen a lot of those tips out of bounds, forcing Redeemer into some sideline plays, which might actually be to their advantage if they can execute here. And they'll put it right back into Rudenhill. There's the second defender coming. Give off pass to Hoagland. Kick out pass to Van Howlen for 3. And that one's no good. Too strong. Rebound goes into the corner. Kept alive by Lazenby for a second. And that's going to work to the Royals' disadvantage as Hoagland came in to try and grab the rebound. And she'll be called for the loose ball foul. So Hoagland's first foul of the game gives Redeemer a chance to set up the press. Both teams now in the penalty. We're not even halfway through this first quarter. Inbounded here to Kalar, guarded by Van Howlen, who's played the entirety of this first quarter. Kick out pass here to Kiara Griffith. Crosses over from right to left, gets inside against DeYoung, and she will draw the foul. DeYoung will be called for her second after just about 2.5 minutes of play, and she will be taken out of the game here. So Griffith to the line. Daniela Zondag is in for the Royals, the 3rd year out of Smithville. She'll replace DeYoung as Griffith knocks down the first. And so 1 for 2. The offensive rebound goes the way of the Royals, picked up by Baranova. And a foul is called on the ensuing play, so Sheridan will have a chance to double up from the free throw line here while putting some pressure on the Royals, who might find themselves in a little bit of foul trouble here. And it's the first on Van Howlen, but she will come out. And as you mentioned, Jared, 6 options for Coach Jesse Van Howlen to go to. And I could be mistaken here, but it looks like Redeemer is... Oh, no. They do have 5 bodies on the floor. It's just uncommon to see a bench of that much depth. Meanwhile, this free throw does fall short. It'll be called for a sideline out of bounds here. Sheridan will also bring in some fresh legs. Nyla Hayes comes into the game. Baranova comes out, so a bit of a smaller look here for Redeemer, while Van Howlen stays in the game. She'll be guarded by Katie Wu. Sorry, Brudenhill. Brudenhill will carry the ball up now. Looking for Zondag on that right-hand side. She'll carry it all the way down. Handoff not taken. Getting inside. Brudenhill goes up for 2, and she is fouled. So a foul called on the inside. Brudenhill carrying the ball for the entire possession, and she'll get another chance from the line. And Brudenhill is a above 50% free throw shooter on the season. She averages 11 points per game on the year on 34 minutes of play. So she leads the Royals in that category in terms of minutes played, but definitely a season in which she's been a little bit more diverse in her production. Brudenhill averages 1.5 assists per game as well, on top of 12.5 rebounds, which averaging a double-double is not something that's uncommon for Brudenhill during her years with the Royals, for sure. And so she goes 2 for 2. 9-7 the score, and a turnover here, an interception in the full court by Van Raalte. She'll dribble right into help, and it'll be a held ball. Possession arrow will come in favor of the Royals, so they'll keep possession, 19 on the shot clock. And Lazenby will inbound here. So both teams in the penalty, as we mentioned. And we've got ourselves a sub here for Sheridan. So Blair comes back into the game. And she's going to replace Kiara Griffiths. So Lazenby to inbound. She'll try flipping across. Brudenhill's inside the paint. Body's collapsing. Kick out to Lazenby. Attacks the long closeout. Gets inside. Shot. Flirted with the rim for a sec. Looked like it was going to go down. But either way, Lazenby will head to the free throw line. A chance to tie the game. Her third time being fouled in the act of shooting. So Lazenby will go back to the line. Lazenby leads the Royals in points per game with just under 13. She can't hit the first free throw. At just about a 50% mark from the free throw line. And she is good on the second. So right on cue, Redeemer now trails by 1, 9-8. Hoagland playing a bit of pressure in the full court there against Kolar. Kolar calling for the screen. Blair calls her to clear out. They'll go a single side screen down towards the baseline. Kolar still guarded by Hoagland. She gets inside with the left hand, puts it up with the right. No good. Rebounded by Brudenhill. Multiple bodies there. Lazenby gets it. Redeemer's got to be careful here to get it over half. Brudenhill with space to run in front. Kolar trying to come in to get the steal. Brudenhill able to keep control, and she'll attack Kolar, who falls to the ground. So Sheridan needing to regroup. The throw over the top by Lazenby. It looked like she was trying to find Brudenhill posting up on the inside, but she got too much on it. And so it will go out of bounds. Turnover for the Royals. We got a timeout here. 4 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Sheridan leads 9-8. A bit of a defensive one here. Jared, both teams finding themselves in a little bit of foul trouble. It's been tightly called, but Redeemer's been able to take advantage of a couple of those at the free throw line.
And Redeemer's had some very good free throw shooting performances. In the first semester, I think of Sophia Van Raalte as being a player who's taken a lot of trips to the line, especially in specific games. So it's definitely something that the Royals have lent on, and they're definitely using it to close the gap here in this first quarter.
Yeah, to your point, Jared, Sophia Van Raalte averages 4 made free throws per game. We haven't seen her get to the line in this one at all, but she's also averaging 12.5 points per game on just 28 minutes. So a very efficient first semester at the very least that she's been able to put on, and she's played in all 10 of Redeemer's games, something that only 10 players for the Royals can say that they have done. Yep. So definitely a little bit of reinforcement potential in this second semester, given the unavailability of some of those players in the first half of the year.
Yeah, she's also, that makes up almost a third of Van Raalte's points coming from the line and shooting just below 80% on the season from the line as well. So some great stats there helping out her individual scoring.
Yeah. So both teams coming in with a little bit of full court pressure, and it's a man press on both sides, and it's going to be a turnover here to start coming out of the timeout. Zondag picks it up. Redeemer having a shortened shot clock here. We got a stoppage. I'm not sure exactly. It could be an issue with the clock, but either way, Redeemer coming up with the turnover in the full court. They'll put 20 seconds on the clock, so I believe it was intended to be a full 24 rather than just the shortened 14. So 20 seconds on the shot clock. Lazenby to inbound. Posting up on the inside is Ava Froze. And that'll be swung around. A nice give and go pass inside. Veneralti puts it in for two. And a beautiful give and go as that ball swung around to the right side. Veneralti gets the layup on the interior. Sheridan trying to answer quickly as Redeemer has the lead. Brown Francis kick to the left side. That three-point shot is no good. Rebound is tipped out of bounds. Redeemer coming up with the stop. That three from Katie Wu on the left-hand side was left short. So now Redeemer having to deal with the press, and they can't do so successfully. Blair's going to get it off the turnover, but that pass goes off the fingertips of Juliana Leverton-Stewart. And so Sheridan coming up with the steal, but they give it right back. And so Bianca Vinta comes back in. She's guarding the ball there. A little bit of a let off of that press as Veneralti carries it back up. She's got her first 2 points of the game. Now they'll run a little bit more of a give and go look. Hoagland looking to post up high. A nice pass inside by Froze. This is Zondag inside. Flips it up. No good. Rebounded there. No foul as the Sheridan player goes down. Blair is going to tussle for the ball with Ava Froze, and it'll be called a held ball. So some nice hustle there shown by the Royals following the missed shot. The possession arrow will go in favor of Sheridan this time. Redeemer showing some nice ball movement, looking for that high post look, and it's created some decent scoring opportunities with Ava Froze into the game. So Rudenhill getting a bit of a rest there at the end of the Royals bench. Redeemer will continue with the high press. That pass was over the top to Vinta, who gets behind the D, but tipped away by Lazenby, who comes up with the steal. Lazenby trying to sort things out. Two high posts here. Hoagland and Froze on the opposite side. Cross screen coming. Veneralti. The flip up top. She's got Lazenby, who fakes the shot. Drives back to her right. She will stop on 2 feet. Floater goes short. Lazenby comes up with the rebound now. Reset of the shot clock. 14. Hoagland wide open for three, and it's good. And the second chance points go the way of the Royals, and Hoagland knocks down her first three-point attempt of the game. And here's Bianca Vinta guarded by Hoagland, who's coming off that made triple. They'll reverse it. Swing pass. Lifting up is Brown Francis. Shot clock winding down. Flips up with the left hand. Foul called. Late whistle as Vinta collided with, I believe it's going to be Lazenby called on the block. So Vinta will go back to the line. For Lazenby, I believe it's going to be her first foul. So she still managed to stay out of the foul count up to this point. And the first free throw of this trip for Brown Francis is good. Brown Francis averages 7.4 points per game for the Bruins. She's a below 50% free throw shooter. She's had a number of attempts, though, in this game. The second shot is no good. Nice rebound there by Veneralti. And she'll try and push it up the floor, guarded by Blair, driving with her right hand, gets past Blair for a second, and I think we're going to call a offensive foul. Veneralti, yep, she extended that elbow. And an interesting call there as the ball was being dribbled by Veneralti, and so a bit of a let off there. Coach Van Howlen not too pleased with that call, and he'll have some chance now to speak with one of the officials as Sheridan will call their first time out of the game. So 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Redeemer leads the Sheridan Bruins 13-10. The Redeemers had a nice bit of a run with Talia Rudenhill on the bench. And Royals fans, tonight's Royals basketball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, a proud sponsor of your Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top quality products they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. Visit finpools.ca to learn more or start your next pool project today. Thank you to Finn Pools for supporting Redeemer Royals Athletics. So Sheridan will have a baseline inbounds play here. Redeemer with some time to set up the press. It'll be Vinralti guarding the ball. She'll get a tip on the pass. Zonde comes up with it, stops for the floater. It's off the back of the rim. Rebounded, though, by Hoogland. Tipped away. Battle for the ball. It's on the ground. Loose ball, and it'll be a held ball ultimately called. So the third held ball of this quarter. Redeemer will have the possession arrow go their way. Rudenhill still stays on the bench for the time being. Redeemer will have another sideline out of bounds here. Lazenby to inbound. Cross screen coming. Vinralti towards Lazenby, and she'll have the ball at the top of the key. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Hoogland, who's already made a three in this game, thinking about it, looking for the pass. 5 to shoot. Zonde's got to put one up. Hoogland from a deep 2-point range gets it to the rim. Rebounded by Stephanie Blair. And now Sheridan with a potential opportunity to attack in transition. This is Brown Francis. Drives to the left. Kicks it out. The three-pointer is up short. And rebounded by Lazenby, who's going to try and attack. No numbers forward, but she kicks it to Vinralti, who jets inside. Right hand going to the rim and rolls it in. Sophia Vinralti for 2. Redeemer extends the lead to 5, a minute and a half to go in this first quarter. Here's Richards. Kicks it across. Katie Wu. Handoff on that left-hand side to Brown Francis. She'll try and attack Vinralti. Vinralti getting a foot on the dribble. 5 to shoot now. Sheridan gets inside. Shot is no good. Rebounded by Froze. Options here. Redeemer's got a 2-on-1. That pass from from Hoogland is just too far. And Zondag was unable to get to it. So a 2-on-1 opportunity goes empty. But Coach Van Howlen eager to get his team to push forward. And with 1:07 to go, Lauren Van Dyke will get her first action of the game. The second-year guard out of Abbotsford, British Columbia. And she'll be guarding the ball here on the inbound. Inbounded to Stephanie Blair. Guarded by Froze in the full court. And here's a nice kick out. Drive is taken by Brown Francis. The shot goes off the bottom of the rim. Lazenby will rebound, and she'll try and slow things down, flipping it over top to Ava Froze, who's got Hoogland in support. Hoogland flips it to the left-hand side. Van Dyke with the drive. Hoogland top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. Flips it to Zonde. Gets inside. A nice drive. The shot is no good. But we'll stay here. We'll get 14 on the shot clock. Potential 2-for-1 opportunity here for Redeemer with 35 seconds to go. Froze will post up on that near block. The inbound coming from Van Dyke. Inbound pass collected by Froze. Hoogland with a bit of a short screen. The kick out to Zondag. Back up to Lazenby. Lazenby drives. Right hand. 7 on the shot clock. That'll go off of a Sheridan defender. So another sideline inbounds opportunity with just 5 seconds to shoot. Lazenby will inbound. But before that can happen, Sheridan's going to stop the play here for a substitution. And that'll be number 3, Kiara Griffith, back into the game. And she will take out Brown Francis, who's had a good collection of minutes. Here's the inbound. A nice give and go. Lazenby on the reverse. No good. But she gets it back. The shot goes up on the follow-up from about 3 feet out. And it's good. The buzzer did sound, but that was just for the shot clock expiring. So Sheridan will have to go. 10 seconds on the game clock. Here's Griffith, flips it out to Ava Wu, who drives, or Katie Wu, drives, leaves it off. Here's Stephanie Blair for 3, and it's good. And that'll bring this first quarter to an end. The former Royal bringing the Bruins within 4. Redeemer 17, Sheridan 13. 10 minutes gone in this first quarter, and what started as a very defensive affair brings some scoring on both ends in the final 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think it was nice to see that even though this game started off a bit slow offensively, neither team really settled for threes. We still saw a lot of play in the paint by both squads. There were a lot of fouls, a lot of trips to the line. So it was nice to not have, just a one-dimensional game of teams being like, oh, we can't get anything going inside. Let's just settle for the three. Both teams kept at it, and we have ourselves a lot more of a dynamic first quarter than we started with. And I think this carries good momentum into the second with the Royals having a 4-point lead.
And the Royals scoring very balanced, which is not something that which is something that you see pretty commonly. But with a bit of a size mismatch with Rudenhill, they're trying to feed her, but she's been very good. 3 rebounds and an assist to go in this first quarter, on addition to just the 2 points. Lazenby leads the scoring for the Royals with 5. And with that 3-pointer, Stephanie Blair is the leading scorer for the Bruins with 5. Both teams with 5 turnovers, and we saw that both coaches calling it a little bit of an offensive press, which is something interesting to see for both of these teams, and they're trying to make this a bit of a track meet.
And before we get the second quarter started, Redeemer Royals basketball would like to thank Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty, the official sponsor of our final score updates this season. Wes is passionate about helping families find their place to call home. So whether you're buying or selling, trust experience and integrity, and trust Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty. Thank you, Wes, as always, for your ongoing support of your Redeemer Royals athletics.
And so just about set to go here, quarter number 2. It's going to be Bianca Vinta inbounding for Sheridan as the arrow is in their favor. Hoagland is going to be providing some pressure on the ball. Both teams shot right around 20% from the field in that first quarter, while Redeemer was able to knock down on 2 of their 5 attempts from deep. Something we might see a little bit more, but first we got a 2-on-1. Here's Lazenby in transition, attacking from left to right. Can't get the finish to go, and it's going to go off a Royals player and out of bounds. So Redeemer coming up with the steal in the full court on the initial inbound. But Sheridan will have a chance on their own end with 12 seconds gone by in the quarter. Vinta now. Screen coming there. Baranova back in the game for Sheridan. The kick from right to left. Looking for the handoff there. Griffith does get it to Brown Francis, who's back in the game. Here's a drive to the right-hand side. This is Kalar. Gets in with the left hand. No good. Rebounded by Lazenby. And she'll carry it right back up the floor. Lazenby had 7 rebounds in that first quarter. And she gets another one there. Here's the put back on the ensuing possession. Hoagland was able to get it off the miss from Zondag, but couldn't put it back in. And it looks like we're going to see some subs coming up for Redeemer. Meanwhile, Sheridan now 10 to shoot. The 3-point shot from the top of the key by Griffith is no good. Rebounded by Froze. Lazenby receives the pass, and she'll slow things down here. A minute gone by in the second quarter. Griffith with some good pressure. The handoff goes off to Hoagland as this play develops. Lazenby coming up off the up screen. The 3-point shot is short. And so it'll be Sheridan possession off the miss from Lazenby. We've seen that action a couple times. Hoagland playing as a bit of a high post pivot on the perimeter with the screen coming from the opposite side. Lazenby comes off the double screen, gets the pass, but potentially wasn't able to get her feet behind underneath her that time, as that shot fell very well short. So Sheridan possession here, scoreless in the second quarter. Redeemer leads by 4. Here's the drive. Passed off to Baranova. Kicks it right back out to Griffith. Trying to drive left. Strong defending there by Vrudenhill as that ball is turned over. Redeemer trying to push. No numbers forward. Here's a dish inside to Van Dyke, who puts it up, and she will be fouled. So, that's Faith Noble. My apologies. Faith Noble into the game for the first time in this second quarter. She gets the interior look, and she will go to the line for 2. So a 2-forward look for Coach Van Howlen to start this second quarter. Van Raalte back in the game, and Faith Noble gets her first chance from the line. Noble's only played in 6 games this season in her second year out of Kitchener. And if I'm not mistaken, that's her first free throw attempts of the season, and she goes 1 for 2. So Noble able to extend the Redeemer lead to 5 points as they continue to bring pressure here. Do the Royals. Vrudenhill coming up with the steal. She'll get inside, slicing into the interior. Can't get the left-handed finish to go. Sheridan's got some numbers forward. The pass up front to Baranova. She'll put it up, and she will be fouled. And so Sheridan attacking in transition. Redeemer possibly a little bit weak in the backcourt defending, as Sheridan was able to inbound and there was nobody back there to guard Michelle Baranova. So Baranova gets the first to go. Baranova averages just under 7 minutes per game, so having a bit of an extended role in this one today so far, even with just 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Second free throw, no good. So Rudenhill will attack, drawing additional help as we saw in that first quarter. Kick out three. That one's off from DeYoung. Rebounded there, and Redeemer comes up with it as Noble was able to get on it. Here's Rudenhill now with 8 on the shot clock. She kicks it back out. Noble will put up a 3, and that one is off the mark. So another inside-out look for the Royals. Rudenhill kicking it out to the other corner, but Noble can't knock it down. But she will get this rebound there off the miss from Griffith on the other side. Redeemer pushing in transition once again. Kick out pass. Extras there for DeYoung. She will put it up again for 3. That one bounces high off the rim. No good. So another good look from Zoe DeYoung, but she's unable to knock it down. 2 minutes, 50 seconds gone by in the second quarter. Redeemer still leads by 4 against the Sheridan Bruins. Sheridan with the possession now, attacking on the right-hand side. Kick back out to Griffith. Griffith will drive from the left wing. She'll try and scoop up an awkward right-hander, and she can't get it. Redeemer with a 3-on-3 chance the other way. Rudenhill is the trailing crackback. She will drive, gets inside, goes up with the right, contact, and it's going to be called a block on Baranova. So Rudenhill will go to the line for the second time today. She was 2 for 2 on her first trip. And that's going to be Baranova's second foul of the game. So we're seeing a lot of transition looks for Redeemer in this one. Sheridan is no stranger to playing a lot of full court defense, but as a result, Redeemer needs to convert a little bit more on their field goals. 5 of 34 to start this game. Rudenhill no good on the first. She comes into this game, as we mentioned, above 50% from the line, but she can't knock down those two. So that trip to the line goes empty, and we've got an injured player here. So this play will be stopped momentarily.
But as you say, Redeemer going 5 of 34 to start this game early from the field. I believe Sheridan only has 23 field goal attempts. So we can see a plus 11 margin on Redeemer having more shots than the other team, which works well if you have the percentage to go along with it. So that's probably the result of a lot of good offensive rebounding for the Royals, which is something that you definitely want. So that's a good start, but just a few more of them need to start going in to really build up that lead.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, 10-2 the spread. Redeemer with 10 offensive rebounds, and the likes of Lazenby really getting on some of those longer rebounds that bounce off the rim. Redeemer's attempted 8 shots from beyond the arc, and those are those long rebounds that as a coach on the defensive side, you really need to prioritize. Blair's 3 is no good. Rebounded there, right on cue by Sheridan, but that one rims out. And it'll be picked up from Vinralti, who's back in the game. She'll attack with the right hand. Brings it back out. Lazenby top of the key. She'll drive to her right. Help comes. Kick to DeYoung. Right back out to Vinralti, top of the key. She'll kick it across the court to the corner, trying to keep it in. Was Van Howland, no good. And now Sheridan's got numbers forward. A 3-on-2 the other way. Driving is Vinta. She'll kick it back out. 3-pointer from the left wing is good. And that'll be Jazara Brown-Francis with the triple. And it's Sheridan's second of the game. Brings this game within 1. Redeemer 18, Sheridan 17. And that's a nice inside out, even in transition. It might seem early in the shot clock, but that's a shot that you want to take. It's in rhythm. Brown-Francis catches it. And Redeemer goes the other way. And that's a triple to answer right back. Ava Van Howland knocks it down. And Redeemer's back up by 4. Van Howland's second 3-pointer of the game. She's got 6 points. And here's the drive by Vinta. And she will be fouled. So Sheridan going to go right back to the line here. They're 5 for 10 so far from free throw land. Bianca Vinta looking for her first points of the game. And you look at a player like Vinta, she doesn't get to the line much, but when she does, she is very efficient, above 80% from the line on the year, averaging just under 6 points per game on 22 minutes. So Vinta with the second free throw is good. So a 3-point game here. We're going to see a substitution. Vinta's going to come out, and she'll be replaced by Katie Wu. Sheridan bringing in that full court press, trying to speed up the Royals a little bit more. But Howland's got Rudenhill in support to bring this ball across half. Guarded by Katie Wu. Rudenhill going back to her left, drawing the help. 3-point shot from Lazenby coming, and it's good. And another assist from Rudenhill. Lazenby knocks down the 3. Redeemer leads by 6 midway through quarter number 2. But right back the other way goes Brown. Francis can't get the layup to go. Redeemer with a 3-on-2 opportunity. Lazenby coming off the made triple will slow things down. She's got 8 points. Swings it back up top to Rudenhill. Rudenhill will try her luck from beyond the arc and knocks it down. Back-to-back triples from Redeemer. It's raining from downtown. The Royals lead by 9. Blair the other way, guarded by Rudenhill, goes down. No foul. And it's actually going to be a travel called as Blair hit the deck, rolled around with the basketball. So 2 straight 3-pointers, and it's followed by a turnover. Timeout called by Coach Jesse Van Howlen. Redeemer 27, Sheridan 18, and just like that, the 3-point shots start to fall, and Redeemer's got themselves a nice 7-0 run here in the second half of the second quarter.
And you see those couple makes there put Redeemer up to 5 of 11 from 3 on the evening, 45%, which is astonishing at the professional level and is 5 stars here at the OCAA level. The Royals must be loving that.
And it's not as if those 3-pointers are coming off of empty possessions either, right? You saw the inside out look. Rudenhill, of course, has been really solid in this one, creating those opportunities. She's got 3 assists to go along with 5 points, and then she knocks one down from the top of the key as well. So you like having that dual action threat for one of your better scorers, and now Sheridan's going to need to respect that moving forward. Rudenhill, her first attempt from 3 is money. So interesting also to see Redeemer call the timeout coming in off of that run and the turnover, possibly a chance to just calm things down a little bit, keep composed. You don't want to rely necessarily on getting hot from 3 to give you a chance to win a game. You want to be able to do it regardless of whether the shots are falling necessarily or not. So Sheridan continuing with the full court press. Rudenhill remains the option, remains the choice for Redeemer to carry the ball over half, and she'll give it off to Lazenby with an interior look to Sofia Venralti. Venralti leaves it, remains with control. She'll drive, and she will get it to go with the right hand and one. Sofia Venralti caught it in the high post, looked off the first handoff, looked off the second handoff. The help took the bite, and Venralti drives with a nice 2-dribble attack and finishes through the contact. So Redeemer up to a double-digit lead. Venralti will go to the line for one more. That one rolls out. Venralti's up to 6 points on the game to go along with 4 rebounds.
That was some nice footwork from Venralti to avoid the double up top. I think that got sent to her, and she was able to make her way downhill and get the hoop in the harm.
And when you got some players like Rudenhill and Lazenby who've made a couple shots on previous possessions, and you have that high post option, that's actually a very good look to hold on to that basketball, right? Be patient and attack once the defense turns their eyes away from you. Nice job. And to your point also, Jared, the help comes late as well, right? When there's extra guys or extra bodies that are cutting into the paint, right? That help on the baseline gets driven out. And so when Venralti does drive, it comes late. It's not in time. It's not good defense. It's a foul. Venralti's able to finish. So on the other side of the court, Juliana Leverton-Stewart goes 2 for 2. So it's a 10-point game here with 3:58 to go in the second quarter. Redeemer having a nice little run here to extend the lead. Rudenhill kicks it off. Hoagland with a double team. She'll stop on a dime. Goes up the left hand. No good. Rebounded by Sheridan. And they'll get a chance to attack the other way with Brown Francis, who's back into the game. She's got 4 points on 1 for 5 shooting. Swing across the court to Wu, who will take a few dribbles. Pull up for 3. No good. Rebounded by the Royals. Veneralti will kick it up to Lazenby. No numbers forward. She will step back for three in transition. An early shot in the shot clock. No good, but rebounded by Hoagland, who will tussle for it there on the inside with Solana Vea. And so a held ball called. Redeemer retains possession based on the arrow. And some nice minutes there by Megan Mose, who gets into the game today. Megan Mose, the first year at Smithers, BC. Played high school basketball at Ebenezer Christian School. Gets some action here in the OCAA. Inbounds play here. Zondag gets the top of the key. She'll drive. Hands it off to Vrudenhill. Back to Zondag in the right corner. She'll step back, kicks it across to Hoagland. 3 on the shot clock. Shot's got to go up from Lazenby. She knocks it down. And a late shot clock bucket from Lazenby, who knocks down another triple. Redeemer leads 32-19. Sheridan coming back the other way. The attack from Kalar is tipped out of bounds. So Lazenby's up to 11 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 4 assists. What a productive quarter for her. She's 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, and that one coming at the end of a shot clock on a very long possession. The inbounds pass shot is off the mark. So Redeemer now, 2:45 to go. Quarter number 2. Lazenby has got 2 3-pointers in this half. She'll kick this one to Vrudenhill. Fakes the shot on Blair. Drives in with the right hand. A strong drive on Stephanie Blair. Can't get it to go. Sheridan trying to attack. A 2-on-2 the other way. Brown Francis gets inside with the left hand. Goes up. No good, but the foul's called. And so a quick transition attack from Jazara Brown Francis will send her right back to the free throw line. And with that, Vrudenhill will be taken out of the game by Coach Van Howlen. Ava Froese, who had some good minutes in that first quarter, comes back into the game. First free throw is good for Brown Francis. And so 2 for 2 on that trip. Redeemer leads by 11. Looking to kick out quickly in transition. Zondag's got the ball. High pressure defense played here by Kalar. Inside to Froese, running a little bit of a horns action. Kick out from Veneralti. 3-pointer from Lazenby. That one doesn't hit the target. But a great look off the kick out from Veneralti as Lazenby able to step into it in rhythm. And here's Kalar driving in. Right hand floater is good. So Kalar's got her first field goal of the game. Redeemer going out quickly now. Zonde gets inside. Can't get the roll. Rebounded by Froese. That one is off. And Zonde comes around with it. Almost got a second offensive rebound on that possession. And here's Kalar driving on Veneralti. 1:41 to go in this quarter. Blair will drive. Nice left hand finish by Stephanie Blair, attacking from the top of the three-point line. And so a minute and a half now. Redeemer leads by 7. Kick out by Veneralti. Zondag thought about the shot. The cut comes from the top of the key, and that's a nice cut by Lazenby. She can't finish. And we've got another injured player here for Sheridan. That's going to be Brown Francis, who's a little bit shaken up. So some nice ball movement there by Redeemer. Looking from the cut from the top of the key, and we are going to take a moment here with the injury. And it will be accompanied by a Sheridan timeout. So a minute 21 to go. Redeemer leads 32-25 against Sheridan. And they've turned things up here in the second quarter. But Sheridan's been able to string forward a couple of decent possessions to keep this one from getting out of hand. The highest the lead got was 12 points for the Royals. And now it's just right back down to 7. Stephanie Blair with 7 points. She had the nice left-hand layup there to bring this one. We'll step aside briefly and be back after the timeout.
Keeping Christ at the center of intercollegiate athletics, empowering student athletes and coaches to make a meaningful impact for Christ. Our member schools embody the love of Christ through our game plan for life, love, integrity, faith, and excellence. With 23 national championship events, we serve 88 member schools across the United States and Canada. The NCCAA, where ring chasing and king chasing converge.
And so back here out of the timeout, Sheridan will have a baseline inbound, 1:21 to go. Redeemer leads 32-25. Inbound is given to Kiara Griffith. And now Wu will have to attack with it's getting close with the shot clock showing 16. But they do so successfully. Meanwhile, that pass across court goes off the hands of Kiara Griffith, and it'll be another turnover for Sheridan. Redeemer applying some pretty solid pressure. That'll be 10 turnovers in the half, for Sheridan here. A lot of them coming in that half court. Lazenby drives, kicks it to Hoagland. Hoagland getting inside, looking for Froze on the attack, but Katie Wu steps in and makes the steal. Kalar will attack now. 3-on-3. 2-for-1 opportunity here. Kalar drives, goes off of a Redeemer defender. And now Redeemer maybe to get a 2-for-1. Lazenby looking to attack quickly. She gets inside, puts it up with the right hand. Foul is called. And that's going to go on Katie Wu. And Lazenby, who's already got 11 points in this first half, is going to have a chance to go to the line for 2 more. And we mentioned Lazenby leads the Royals in scoring at just under 13 points per game. She can match that average with a trip to the line 2 for 2. She does do so on a pretty volumetric field goal outage, and that's no different than today. She's 3 for 14 from the field, but 2 of those have been from beyond the arc, and she's 4 for 7 from the line with that make. And so a 9-point lead now. Lazenby up to 13 on the game. Sheridan can possibly go 2 for 1, and Kalar will attack quickly, dished inside. That shot is no good. Rebounded by the Royals, but picked up again by Sheridan. And Froze, who gave it away, is going to be called for the foul. And that will put Redeemer into the penalty. So Kalar comes up with the ball, fouled by Froze, and she'll go to the line for 2. A touch under 30 seconds to go in this second quarter. Probably not a 2-for-1 on the miss. And the second free throw is good for Kalar. So Redeemer with a 6-second differential, game clock, shot clock. Pressure still being applied on Van Howlen as she dishes it across to Zondag. Zondag guarded by Richards, Stolen away. Richards driving on Zondag. Goes up. Nice defending there. Zondag plays straight up. Almost gives it away, but she comes up with it. But it's a travel, which is the ultimate result. Zondag had her pass deflected 1, 2, 3 times. Came up with the ball, but at that point, she had already shuffled her feet. So Sheridan now down by 7. 7.8 seconds on the clock here. Inbound coming from Kalar. And that'll go in. So Kalar has the ball. 5 to shoot. Up against Zondag. Driving to her right. Tries to dish it inside. Baranova gets it off in time. But it bounces off the back of the rim and out, which will bring us to halftime here in Ancaster. Redeemer leads 34-27. Sydney Lazenby with a solid second quarter brings her up to 13 points on the game with 8 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with it, leading the Royals. Whereas for the Bruins, Stephanie Blair with 7 points on 3 for 6 shooting. And so a lot of good signs for Redeemer, especially in that second quarter where they outscored the Bruins 17-14. It was pretty reflective of the first quarter where they also had a 4-point spread. But you're seeing a lot of that pressure really get to the Bruins. 11 turnovers to Redeemer's 10, but also those offensive rebounds, as we mentioned. Redeemer 12 offensive rebounds to Sheridan's 3. The overall rebound differential being 12. And that really seems to be the difference in this game, Jared.
Mm-hmm. And, we saw Redeemer's lead get as high as 10, I think, in this quarter. So to have it back to, what are we looking at? 7 here. Still a good margin for the Royals going into halftime, getting a great offensive production for 34 points in the half. That's probably one of their higher totals in the first half of the season. So I think they can have a lot to like going into the third quarter.
Yeah, and we talk about that rebound differential as well, and it's coming from the main sources that you'd expect. We mentioned Talia Rudenhill averages 12.5 rebounds per game. She's actually only got 5 in this quarter. But it's the other players coming in big on the boards. Lazenby, we mentioned, had 8 rebounds, but Vinaralti with 4, Hoagland with 3, and a lot of those coming on the offensive side of the floor as well. So a lot of good signs for Coach Van Howlen and the Royals as they try and knock off their second win of the season. We will step aside briefly here for the half. We'll be back. I believe we've got the Community Girls League playing a little bit of 5-on-5 here at halftime. So some good community involvement here at Redeemer. We'll step aside briefly and be back for Oh, no. That's
Oh, okay.
I'll live.
All right.
And we welcome you back inside the Redeemer Athletic Center. Half number 2 coming up. Redeemer leads the Sheridan Bruins in this women's basketball matchup, 34-27 after a solid first half by the Royals. Both teams able to find a little bit of rhythm, albeit at a relatively inefficient pace. Both teams shooting right around 20%. But we'll get back set to go here. Half number 2. Sheridan moving from right to left on your screen in the blue. Redeemer left to right on your screen in the white. Will Dykstra, Jared Meyer joining you here on the YouTube live stream. We thank you for joining us as Sheridan will start things off with a kick-out 3 from Katie Wu. No good. Rebounded there by Talia Brudenhill, who had 5 rebounds in the first half. She also followed that up with 5 points. So a solid first half for the Royals on both ends. Here's a kick out 3. Lazenby knocks it down. And what a way to start the second half for Sydney Lazenby, who had 13 points in the first half. 2 3-pointers. She knocks down another there. Up to 16 on the game. Redeemer back up to 10-point lead here in the opening moments of the second half. Bit of a collision there on the reversal. Sheridan's got 7 to shoot here. Driving to her left. That's a shot going up from Caitlin Kalar. And she'll draw the foul. So Lazenby picks up the blocking call. She had just the 1 foul in the first half. Kalar will go to the line to shoot 2. And a couple of other key statistic points to look at in that first half. Redeemer had 7 steals and 9 assists. So playing a really solid possession game, keeping the ball in their hands, taking it away on defense. Kalar knocks down the second free throw. So 9-point game, 9 minutes to go in the first half. Brudenhill carrying the ball up. She's got Sofia Vinralti on the court with her. Lazenby will drive from the left-hand side, kicks it back to Vinralti. 2 defenders on her, puts up the left-hand layup, no good. Rebounded by Kalar. So Vinralti, who had 6 points in the first half, is no good on her first field goal attempt of the second. And a nice crossover move there. Brown Francis gets inside, and she will be fouled. 2 shots coming up for her. Brown Francis, we mentioned, on the season, struggling a little bit from the free throw line, but had 3 for 4 from her chips in the first half of this one. Can't knock down the first of this trip, though. When these two teams matched up last time, earlier this year, for the other end of the home and home, it was a 64-58 win for Sheridan. A close game down the stretch, and Sheridan was able to pull away. This one, we might be heading towards a similar finish. But Sheridan's going to have to heat up a little bit offensively to try and convert on a little bit more of these opportunities. Redeemer seems to have a pretty good defensive game plan set up, at least through the first half of this one. Here's Brown Francis going one-on-one against Van Howlen. Van Howlen standing strong. Here's a drive on the right-hand side. And a nice underhand scoop finish by Bianca Vinta, who's got herself on the board. Her first field goal make of the game on the reverse layup and a turnover the other way. Sheridan a chance to go for a run. Down by 7. Kick out pass. Blair will put it up for 3 off the backboard. No good. Rebounded by Van Dyke. Redeemer looking for a good possession here. 2 minutes gone by in the first half, and that's another turnover. Looking inside for Brudenhill, and Redeemer has no bodies back to guard Stephanie Blair as she takes the transition bucket for 2. Sheridan pressing up here as the lead's down to 5. A 5-0 run for the Bruins. Brudenhill tasked with carrying the ball up. Driving towards the right-hand side. Gets it to that low block inside on Blair. She's got to be careful here, about 3 seconds, and indeed that is the call. So Brudenhill picks up her dribble, can't find a teammate to pass it to, and eventually gets called in the violation. So another turnover to start this half. That's 3 consecutive possessions. Redeemers turn the ball over. And Sheridan coming up with a good start to this half. 37-32, 7:10 to go in the third quarter. Katie Wu has the ball, guarded aggressively by Vinralti. Got to be careful with the hands there. She'll drive to the right-hand side, pushes off against Benralty kicks it back out. Here's Blair guarded by Brudenhill. Two former teammates going one-on-one. A kick to the corner. Wu will put up a three. That's well short. Good box out by Van Howlen as the shot clock expires. Redeemer coming up with the rebound. Lazenby across the court to Van Howlen. Here's Benralty guarded by Wu. She'll drive left-hand baseline. Gets inside. Puts it up for two, and it's good with the right hand. Benralty, 8 points in the game. And on the follow-up possession, that's going to be a blocking foul. The referee indicating 2 shots on the way for Caitlin Kollar. And indeed, that will be the call. And it's going to be Van Howlen actually called on the foul. So as far as we can see here, Van Howlen's got 4 fouls in this game. That might prove to be a bit of a detriment to Redeemer's roster down the stretch. We mentioned in the first half the depth that Redeemer does have. We saw a little bit of that as 11 players, getting some action in that first half for the Royals. And they have a 6-point lead here as that second free throw is no good. And so Kollar no good on the second free throw. Kollar had 18 points in that first matchup against Redeemer back in the first semester in November. And we got an offensive foul here, Jared. It's going to be Verdenhill picking up the charge. And so a nice defensive play there by the Bruins. It's only Verdenhill's second foul, so she'll be good to stay in the game. But it's 4 team fouls in less than 4 minutes in this third quarter for the Royals. Wu hands it off, top of the key. Giving off the kick out pass. Blair from the left side. That shot is short. And it's going to stay on this side, though. It went off of a Redeemer player. So Sheridan to inbound. 9 seconds on the shot clock. No reset with the air ball. So Sheridan will run a high line inbounds play. Cross screen inbounded to Vinta. Vinta puts it up, and that one short rebound. A battle for it. Lazenby will come up with it. Another rebound for her as she closes it on a double-double. And she'll try and run the offense here. Benralty drives to the right-hand side along the baseline, and Wu was late getting there, so she'll pick up the foul. Katie Wu, it'll be her 4th foul of the game, if this is correct here. And this might prove to be potentially a problem for the Bruins.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned right at the start of the quarter, Redeemer having a pretty decent turnover and to steal ratio, but even just, coming out for the first few minutes of this quarter with 4 fouls and 4 turnovers, really, just kind of a stark difference from what we saw close out the first half on.
And you see plays like that offensive foul called on Talia earlier. That's a double-edged sword, right? Not only is it a turnover and you give the other team the ball, but it also puts one of your key players into potentially some foul trouble. Thankfully for Brudenhill, it's only her second. So Benralty good on the first free throw there, as that foul seemed to have been called in the act of shooting, interestingly enough. Benralty good on both, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not Sheridan not in the penalty, whereas Redeemer would be, so potentially something to look back on after this game. But either way, Redeemer up by 8 points, 41-33. Blair will check out of the game for the Royals. We'll see Baranova back in. She played some extensive minutes in that first half for the Bruins, well above her season average. And she'll come back in as Ava Froese is also back in the game, and Brudenhill will take a seat. So Sheridan trying to set something up here. Screen set by Baranova. Going the opposite way is Brown Francis. No good on the field goal attempt. Sheridan with the offensive rebound. 3 on the shot clock, and a nice pull-up jumper there by Bianca Vinta. And Vinta's got herself another field goal in this half, and Sheridan picks up a steal on the inbounds play and puts it in for 2 more. So just like that, the Redeemer leads down to 4, and another potential turnover here as Redeemer can't inbound the ball. They got to get it over half. This is going to be an 8-second, no, it's going to be a jump ball. However, if I'm not mistaken, it should be an 8-second violation here as well, as 8 seconds has transpired with no clear change of possession, and the referee is getting together to discuss this now. A jump ball was called, which would go the way of the Royals, But I think this is going to be a turnover on Redeemer either way. Sheridan's going to get possession in the front court. And so back-to-back possessions there. Sheridan was able to bring forward a couple of bodies and cause some havoc. And Jared, I stand corrected. It's going to be a full reset for Redeemer, as I believe they're going to deem that there was a change in possession.
Okay.
And so a full 24. Lazenby will inbound here. And they'll try and inbound it directly into the front court, and they do, but a trap set. Vinralti has to get out of it. A nice little flip to Lazenby. Lazenby will get out of it, and she'll be fouled. So that time, Redeemer able to break the press. Kiara Griffith will be called on the foul. And that's a bit of a, a dead ball spot to catch it if you're Sofia Vinralti, and the Bruins, they caught onto that right away. Were able to set the trap, and thankfully for Vinralti, Lazenby got right where she needed to be. So some high man pressure being applied, and it's caused some problems for Redeemer here early in this third quarter. Vinralti top of the key, inbound or entry pass to Froze. Kick out pass to Young for three from the left corner, no good. Froze on the rebound, gets it, puts it up, no good on the putback, and tipped out of bounds by Hoogland. So Sheridan has possession again. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Redeemer leads 41-37. Griffith will carry it over half. Gives it off to Brown Francis, guarded by Lazenby, top of the three-point line. Things getting situated. Baranova inside, taking a couple dribbles. Gives it off to Nyla Hayes. Hayes will give it off to Vinta. She drives in, puts it up with the left hand, no good. Vinralti on the rebound. And now some options forward. Vinralti has DeYoung behind her. Vinralti gets by everybody and puts it in with the left hand, going from coast to coast. Vinralti up to 10 points in the game. Redeemer leads by 6, and now some full court pressure here by the Royals. They'll get a held ball. So Sheridan will keep possession with the arrow. And I believe Brown Francis is going to stay down again. We saw her down in the first half as well. And I think she's going to be okay. So Sheridan now, 21 seconds on the shot clock.
And when you say held ball, you just mean jump ball, right? Those two are equivalent for our listeners who might not have heard that term
That's
before.
Right.
Or
So
is there
whenever
difference?
that's right. So whenever there's a tussle in the NBA, normally you would see an actual jump ball be performed. In college basketball, FIBA rules, they just go by the arrow. So that arrow you might be able to see on your screen right across from the between the coaches. That's what we're referring to. And that's a three-pointer. That's Nyla Hayes able to knock it down for 3. And I believe it might have actually been called a 2-pointer because we got a 4-point differential here. So anytime a jump ball is called or a held ball, the possession goes to the team that has the arrow in their favor. So on that previous possession, Sheridan had the arrow in their favor, and now it's pointing the direction of Redeemer. So the next held ball or the next break in the quarter, Redeemer will have the first possession. So a 4-point game here. A nice look inside, flips it up top. That was Kalar looking for the pass on the inside to Hayes. She couldn't get it to go. Lazenby with another rebound. She's up to a double-double. She's got 16 points, 10 rebounds. And now Lazenby will drive to her right hand. No good. She's able to keep control, though. Kicks it out. Here is DeYoung for 3. And that one is good. And a second chance kick-out bucket there. Ava Froze able to locate the shooter. And Redeemer extends the lead to 7. And now DeYoung with the steal. A chance for Redeemer to reestablish the lead. DeYoung kicks it out to Vrudenhill. Vrudenhill, who had a 3 in the first half, puts one up and banks it in. Back-to-back triples again for the Royals. And it's a 10-point game. Vrudenhill knocks down her second, and she'll come up with the steal. Numbers forward for the Royals. Here comes DeYoung. Stops, kicks it to Hoogland, puts it up. Foul is called. What a string of possessions for the Royals. Back-to-back threes, back-to-back forced turnovers. DeYoung with the triple. DeYoung with the assist for Vrudenhill's triple. And now Hoogland will go to the line to push this past a 10-point lead ideally. Redeemer leads 49-39, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Do we want to get a check back in on Redeemer's three-point percentage now? See what it's sitting at?
Absolutely. Redeemer 9 for 8 from beyond the arc.
9 for 18.
9 for 18, my mistake. Yeah, from beyond the arc. And all of those, as we said, coming off of assists, right? We saw the assist from Froze to DeYoung on the previous one, and then that last one to DeYoung. Hoogland 2 for 2. Redeemer leads by 12. an 8-0 run here in the third quarter with 3 minutes to go. Sheridan trying to answer back quickly. That three goes in and out from Richards. Redeemer with the board. It's going to be Lazenby. Some pressure being applied by number 2, Leverton Stewart. And a nice kick out to Young. She'll drive. Kicks it up to Hoagland. Driving on the left-hand side. No good. Rebounded by Hoagland. She goes up. Tries to put it in with the English. No good. Froze. Kicks it out. Lazenby steps into one from the top of the arc. No good. And Sheridan finally gets the rebound. And a bit of a heat check there from the Royals, but Lazenby couldn't knock down another one there. Here's Kalar. Gives it off. Drive, and a nice little rondo fake there from Kiara Griffith.
Wow.
Extending it with her right, flipping right back around, pivoting on that left foot and putting in the nice little cheeky floater. That's a great take there. And that's the first points of the game, or first field goal of the game we've seen for Griffith. And there's an and one on the other side. That's Lazenby answering right back. Lazenby with the bucket plus the harm. She'll go to the line for one more. Lazenby's got 18 in the game. Chance for 19. Redeemer leads by 12. And that's another free throw made for Lazenby. Redeemer leads by 13, matches their largest lead of the game. Sheridan looking for answers here. A good start to the second half's been negated by a Royals run. And that bucket brings this lead back down to 11. So here's DeYoung now driving on the left-hand side against Kalar. She'll kick it back out. Brudenhill looking for an attack against Stephanie Blair. Steps through with the left foot, but it'll be called a travel by the official. Good defense there by Stephanie Blair. So a minute 23 to go. Both teams in the penalty here. Vinta in the game. She'll inbound this one to Kalar. And Kalar guarded by Hoagland in the full court. We'll see how quick Sheridan is to go with it here. This is Vinta driving against DeYoung to the right-hand side. Lifting up is Leverton Stewart. Puts it up off the backboard. No good. Rebounded by DeYoung. And a foul inside the Redeemer key on the ball handler by Leverton Stewart will send Zoe DeYoung all the way down to the other end of the court to shoot two. Not a great foul taken there by the Bruins, as Redeemer will try and push this lead back to 13, minute 7 to go.
And I think you mentioned the last meeting between these two teams was somewhere in the tune of a 64-58 win for the Bruins.
That's right.
Redeemer almost matching the points total that they had in that whole game before the end of the third quarter here. So a great litmus test of their offensive game tonight.
For sure. And Redeemer averages 51 points per game on the season. They've already surpassed that with a minute to go here in quarter number 3. The shots from beyond the arc are falling. That's making a big impact as well. But they've done a good job moving the ball around. And here's an interior look there for Richards. No good. Good defending by Brudenhill, who doesn't pick up her third foul. DeYoung will kick it across to Lazenby. 2-for-1 opportunity. 42 seconds to go. Nice interior pass to Hoagland. And Lazenby finds her. And Hoagland puts it in. And DeYoung is going to get the steal. And another pass inside. Hoagland goes up for two. No good on the high left-handed shot. And now Hoagland picks up the foul, which will send Caitlin Kalar to the other end. So Redeemer leads by 14. It's their largest lead of the game. And a nice action there by Lazenby to find Hoagland on the interior. Lazenby's got 6 assists in the game to go along with 19 points and 11 rebounds.
Wow.
Which is a tremendous outing. And Redeemer leads by 13 with that first free throw by Kalar being good. Kalar's 7 points in the game, 5 of which have come from the free throw line. And she's good on the second as well, which matches Stephanie Blair for the team lead with 9. 26 seconds to go. 5-second differential. Game clock, shot clock. Brudenhill against Stephanie Blair. Drives inside towards that left elbow. She'll kick it to Lazenby for 3 on the left side. That was at the back of the rim. Froze trying to get the rebound, and she does. 14 seconds to go. Chance to hold for the last shot. Lazenby gets inside and puts it in for 2 with the left hand. Through the contact. Sheridan's got 5 seconds now. Redeemer leads by 14. Kalar will cross over to the left hand with the game shot clock expiring. And it's no good. And what a finish to this third quarter. Redeemer, who came in leading by 7, now leads by 14. 25 points in the quarter. They're shooting 26% from the field, but 9 of 20 from beyond the arc. Sydney Lazenby's got 21 points in the game. And Redeemer, if they can keep up this production as well as prevent any outstanding run by the Bruins in this fourth quarter, they might be on pace for their second win of the year.
As we have a timeout for a moment, we'd like to remind you that tonight's Redeemer Royals basketball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, a proud sponsor of your Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top quality products they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. Visit finpools.ca to learn more. That's FINNPOOLS.ca to learn more or to start your next pool project today. Thank you to Finn Pools for supporting Redeemer Royals Athletics. On a separate note, Redeemer Royals basketball would also like to thank Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty, the official sponsor of our Final Score updates this season. Wes is passionate about helping families find their place to call home. So whether you are buying or selling, trust experience and integrity and trust Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty. Thank you, as always, Wes, for your ongoing support of Redeemer Royals Athletics. That's 2 points. 2 points for Abigail Hoagland with the left hand. Sheridan down the other way, taking a quick three and answering back. Some early firepower being shown at the start of this fourth quarter. And Vrugdenhill with another bucket on the inside. No drive for Sheridan. Kicked it back up top. Three launched a little bit short. That'll get nothing but air. And we'll get Redeemer inbound on the baseline.
And so another bucket from Talia Vrugdenhill, folks, as Redeemer comes into this fourth quarter, extends the lead to 17. But Vrugdenhill is going to pick up her third foul there. So Vrugdenhill with that bucket up to 8 points in the game. She's got 8 rebounds. And some good solid production on what might be slightly reduced minutes based on what we've seen. But Redeemer's depth certainly showing, as we were mentioning earlier in this game, that it might. Minute and a half gone by, fourth quarter, Redeemer leads 65-48. Sheridan trying to stage a bit of a late game comeback here. And for Sheridan, they average 53 points per game, so they are already above their, or nearing their average points total on the year. But Redeemer having a bit of an offensive exceptional game today, which has put them in a good position to try and win this game. Van Howlen's three's no good. Sheridan able to control the rebound as the shot clock was expiring. Transition outlet pass to find Brown. Francis makes a nice Euro, but the put does not go in. It goes off the back of the rim, out of bounds, tipped out by Redeemer. So Sheridan will keep possession. And I take it back. There's a foul actually called on the rebound. So Stephanie Blair will step up to the free throw line to shoot 2. Blair has 9 points in the game, 4 for 10 from the field, and her first trip to the free throw line today, and she's not able to hit the first. Blair, who played 30 minutes in that matchup back in November between these two teams, but only had 4 points on the game. She was productive in other ways, had 5 points, 4 assists, 4 steals. But she's no good on the free throws here. So Redeemer up by 14, 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. And we're expecting to see a lot of that high pressure that we've seen, but just maybe turned up to level 5 as we move forward in the fourth quarter. Van Howlen controlling the play well. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Entry pass stolen away by Brown Francis. Sheridan taking it up in transition. Pushing the tempo is Kiara Griffith. Kick to the left corner. Entry pass. Van Howlen gets a hand in there. Zondag with the steal. 3-on-2 the other way, potentially for Redeemer. Zondag taking it herself inside with the right hand. No good. Blair with the rebound. With the steal, kicks it out to Griffith. Sheridan trying to push the tempo now. Rudenhill there in defense. Thought about a 3. Was Vinta. Skips it to Wu, calling for the reversal. Vinta now with the left hand. Gets it off the handoff. Nice block there by Veneralti, who came all the way across help to make the play on the ball. And now Veneralti will drive right hand, 2-foot jump stop in, and puts it up and in for 2. And so a nice play, defense to offense for Sophia Veneralti. She's got 14 points on the game. And a 3-point basket the other way. An early shot in the shot clock for Kiara Griffith, but she knocks it down. So a 15-point lead for the Royals here. After that 3 from Griffith, it's her first shot from deep on the game. Veneralti with a nice outlet pass. She'll get the rebound off the miss from Hoagland. Hoagland gets it back inside. Left-handed layup goes off the side of the backboard. Sheridan trying to push the tempo now. This is Vinta. Gets inside, takes it back out. Wu thought about a 3. Hoagland guarding. Wu does put it up, and she knocks it down in the face of Abigail Hoagland. So Katie Wu, her first triple of the game, brings the lead down to 12. So Sheridan starting to find a little bit of rhythm from beyond the arc here in the fourth quarter, as they did at the beginning of the third. And a turnover for the Royals. Chance to cut the lead to 10 here, or into single digits. This is Griffith, who had a 3 earlier. She steps back into deep 2-point range, and that might not be the best shot that was available, as Zondag had some pretty good defense on Griffith. So Rudenhill inside now. A potential handoff play, the high post entry to Veneralti. It's a turnover. That one was not a good look from the start. Blair gets inside on Zondag, can't finish the Euro, gets her own rebound, kicks it out to Wu. Sheridan's got a man down behind the play, and now we've got a foul. 2 shots coming up for Sheridan. Van Howlen couldn't make the charge play, and that is going to be her 5th foul of the game. So Redeemer is going to lose Ava Van Howlen here. She'll leave the game with 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 fouls after getting the start. Some productive minutes, but the whistle just not going her way. And Sheridan will have Katie Wu going to the line to shoot 2. So we'll see Sydney Lazenby, the leading scorer for the Redeemer Royals, both on the season and in today's game, check in to replace Van Howlen. Lazenby 6 for 21 from the field, 3 for 7 from beyond the arc, and she's got 12 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with that. And so for right now, Redeemer's already put up 67 points on the game. You got to think the message from Coach Van Howlen's going to be control the tempo. Don't let Sheridan speed you up to the point where the turnovers start to hurt you. And certainly limit the opportunities that Sheridan has to push the tempo. Because as we've seen, Jared, they're not going to hesitate to take shots early in the shot clock.
Absolutely. And even taking 3s early in the shot clock and making a couple of their past ones. So, yeah, they're definitely in an offensive rhythm to make a run at this game. And Redeemer really has to not let their guard down and keep playing the way that they have been.
And we've seen the turnovers. We talk about it all the time in that most recent stretch. The turnover differential's actually gone the way of the Bruins. Redeemer with 17 turnovers to Sheridan's 15. As we mentioned, though, it's those offensive rebounds that have still given Redeemer the advantage on the total field goal spread. So Redeemer's done a good job. They need to keep things up here. 67-57 is the score as Coach Van Howlen calls timeout. And certainly that's got to be some of the messaging that you'd expect to hear. Sheridan's going to make a few changes now. They're going to bring Michelle Baranova back into the game.
Redeemer's also got to keep themselves out of the bonus here. Less than halfway through the quarter, 3 fouls already with Sheridan having none. So that's not something that Redeemer seems to be able to lean on late in this quarter, is getting to the line enough to make sure they're playing good, honest defense to not let Sheridan have those same opportunities at the line.
And not just to keep your players out of foul trouble, but also to not give Sheridan the chance to slow the game down and score points when the clock's not moving. So you can see from Katie Wu as she's inbounding the ball here, encouraging her team to speed things up as Redeemer turns it over again in the full court. So here comes Sheridan. Zoe DeYoung's guarding the ball. Kicked off to Vinta now. Guarded by Lauren Van Dyke, who's back in. Here's a nice pull-up jumper from about 10 feet out. And that's Bianca Vinta with another bucket. 8-point lead here, 4:45 to go. Rudenhill's back into the game for Redeemer, guarded by Baranova. Here's DeYoung, top of the key, entry pass, high post to Rudenhill. Zonde coming on the handoff, not there. Rudenhill kicks it out. DeYoung, who's made a 3 earlier in this quarter, knocks it down. And another triple for Zoe DeYoung. Rudenhill picking up the assist, pushes the lead back to 11. Redeemer leads. And a very poised possession there, running late in the shot clock. Rudenhill able to get into position to draw in the defenders, and DeYoung knocks down another triple. Rudenhill will pick up that rebound. DeYoung trying to push the pace in transition. Redeemer leads by 11. DeYoung kicks it back to Lazenby. Lazenby will drive, giving it up to Zondag, lifting up from the right corner. Lazenby with 21 points in the game. Back inside to Zondag. Zondag from the right hash, no good. The right block shot there from Zondag looked good, but it bounces off the backboard and away. Here's Kalar, inside 4 minutes to go. Sheridan down by 11. Screen from Baranova. Kalar picks up the dribble. The drive by Leverton Stewart. Gived off to Wu. Shot clock running down. Wu tries the 3, that time with Lazenby in defense, and can't catch the rim. Redeemer now looking to slow things down. DeYoung denies the screen, kicks it back out to the screening player, Van Dyke. Lazenby now, 11 on the shot clock. Screen coming from Rudenhill to her left. 7 on the shot clock, and that's a bad turnover. As Sheridan will come the other way now. From the right block, and a nice dish underneath. Oh, Baranova wasn't expecting it, and it bounces away. Redeemer will pick it up, 3-on-2. Van Dyke to Lazenby. Lazenby gets inside, takes the contact, puts it up. Foul is called. Lazenby will go to the line. 3 minutes and 1 second to go. Redeemer leads by 11. And Jared, we got a timeout here for Sheridan. As that was a nice play underneath. As I believe it was Bianca Vinta or Kalar who made the drive underneath the basket. The bounce pass after coming all the way around, Baranova just wasn't expecting it, and it bounces away. Redeemer able to take it the other way, and good look for Lazenby, I think, to attack the odd man rush in transition and give herself a chance for 2.
Tonight's Redeemer Royals basketball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, proud sponsor of your Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top-quality products they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. Visit finnpools.ca to learn more. That's FINNPOOLS.ca to learn more or to start your next pool project today. Thank you to Finn Pools for supporting Redeemer Royals Athletics.
And Jerry, when we look at the standings, this is a matchup that in previous seasons has been a very important one. Redeemer finished 1 spot ahead Sheridan last year to make that final spot in the playoffs. This year, Redeemer, of course, just with their 1 win coming against 4-5 Conestoga in the first semester, a team that they lost to earlier this week. With this win, Redeemer would move to 2-9, where Sheridan would fall to 2-8. So you start to think about that point differential being the tiebreaker which we've seen be a factor in seasons gone past. Redeemer lost to Sheridan by 6 in the game earlier this season. They'd moved level on wins. Sheridan would, of course, have the better percentage. But if it comes down to teams being level on points, especially as the season progresses, Niagara also falling to 2-8, that could certainly be a factor. So something we'll pay attention to as Redeemer leads by 12. Under 3 minutes to go in this game. Sheridan looking for a potential last grasp at this victory, whereas Redeemer trying to secure one. Here's a shot from the left wing, 3, no good from Kolar. Rudenhill pulls down yet another rebound to move up to 12 on the game. She's got 12 points, 12 rebounds, which is right around her season average in both categories. Here's Lazenby, kick out pass, Hoagland on the left corner. She drives, another kick across to DeYoung, who's got a good look at a 3, but she stepped out of bounds in that coffin corner here at the Redeemer Gymnasium. We see it almost every week. And that time, Zoe DeYoung steps out. So that will be a turnover on the Royals. 2:22 to go. Redeemer leads by 12. Sheridan needs to go quickly here and shorten the length of each possession, and you're seeing coach on the sideline really emphasize that point. Here's Kolar, good defending on the perimeter. A deep 3 taken. That one's well short. As that possession working to the detriment of the Bruins. No good looks, no attacks, and the shot from Kiara Griffith that needed to go up. They need to put up shots, but not close on that attempt.
Well, that shot was probably only about as short as far as Griffith was behind the three-point line. So if you equal that out, that shot could very well have gone in.
For sure. Meanwhile, Sheridan's able to get a steal, but we're under 2 minutes to go. Sheridan needs to go quickly. A skip pass. Wide open is Kolar. She'll try to drive on the left-hand side. Gets to the top of the key. And the whistle goes. I believe it's a foul. And indeed it is. So we're going to see a foul here called on Hoagland. Hoagland will be called for third of the game. That, to your earlier point, Jared, will put Redeemer into the penalty. So every foul, from here on out to the end of this quarter, Sheridan will be shooting 2, which is something to be conscious about, to the point we spoke about earlier about that point differential. 10-point spread. Of course, Sheridan's certainly in a place to win this game, but at the very least, try and make sure it's not lost by more than 6.
And this is exactly the point in the game where you're going to go to a player like Kolar, who, is a bit of a high-volume scorer, takes a lot of shots, gets to the free throw line a lot, especially with Redeemer having a lot of fouls. This is a time in the game where they're going to try and get her the ball a lot, I think. 13
field goal attempts in the game. She leads the Bruins in scoring despite having only converted on one of those, but she's got 9 for 12 from the free throw line. So a held ball here in the front court of Sheridan. It's going to be a 14-second shot clock, 1:36 to go. Sheridan trails by 10. Inbound coming here from Brown Francis to Kiara Griffith. And Kolar coming off the handoff. She thought about the 3, drives on DeYoung, scoops it in with the right hand, and it rims out. And so a nice looking play there for Kolar to get the drive, but she can't convert. And now Sheridan applying some pressure. Brown Francis on Lazenby. That's a foul, but it's nowhere near putting Redeemer on the free throw line. It's just the second team foul on Sheridan in this quarter. So they'll have 3 more fouls to give before they can send Redeemer to the line to maybe turn this into a bit of a free throw parade. Either way, Brown Francis called on the foul, her second. Lazenby to inbound. Dangerous inbounds pass, looking for Rudenhill. Blair got the hand in from behind, so we'll do it again. 1:20 to go. Hoagland in the game. Veneralti also provides some length in terms of getting an inbounds pass in. Lazenby will look to find Veneralti in that right corner. And she stepped out of bounds. Tough break for the Royals. It's a front court turnover. Stops the clock. 1:19 to go. Redeemer up by 10. Veneralti stepped out of bounds after receiving the inbounds pass. So Sheridan may be catching a break. Griffith will hand it off to Kolar. Kolar driving on DeYoung once again. And a nice steal, a strip steal for Veneralti, as she's got to control it now. And she does. Lazenby's got it on the right-hand side, trying to take some time off the clock. Scoops it underneath to Rudenhill. Swing pass to DeYoung. Drives inside. Puts it up for 2 and is fouled. And so Sophia Veneralti coming up with the steal in the front court of Sheridan. And that'll give Zoe DeYoung, a chance to extend this lead beyond 10 once again. DeYoung knocks down the first of two. And that'll put DeYoung above her average on the season. She averages 5.4 points per game coming into this one. She's got 8 points in the game with that and 9 points with that second free throw. So Redeemer in a good position here, up by 12, under a minute to go. Timeout called by Sheridan. We'll see if they choose to advance the ball. Most certainly they will. Couple other games taking place across the OCAA on this Saturday afternoon. Of course, stay with us. We've got the men's game coming up right after this one. But across the association, Mohawk taking on St. Clair right now. It's 33-28 the score, as per our last update. 38-35, sorry, the score with a few seconds to go in this first half over there. At halftime, in Sarnia, Lambton leads the Niagara Knights 28-19, which is good news for the Royals, as that might be a team that Redeemer will have to contend with for a playoff position. A loss for Niagara would put them also at 2-9. And then also in the OCAA West, Humber leads Conestoga 36-26 at halftime. Humber sits at 8-2, second place in the OCAA West. Mohawk with a 10-0 record sits number 1. Of course, we saw that game just last weekend here in Hamilton. Redeemer falling to Mohawk, their first game back from the break. So here we are back in this one. Sheridan to inbound, under a minute to go. Inbounded to Kalar, driving on DeYoung, screen there by Blair. The floater there is good from Kalar. So lead back down to 10. Some full court pressure being applied. Lazenby picks up her dribble, gets it right back after the give and go from Brudenhill. Lazenby with some time. We'll see if the pressure's applied. A nice screen in the center circle. Lazenby kicks it back to Brudenhill. Hoogland's got a seal, gets the pass and is fouled. And a nice seal by Hoogland. Brudenhill was able to find her, and the help came late. Hoogland is fouled. Clock will stop. Hoogland goes to the line. And a nice composed possession there, facing some high pressure, some high man pressure by the Sheridan defense, and Brudenhill's able to find a nice interior pass to Hoogland, who read that seal the whole way. And so Hoogland's had an extended role in this game. Averages just 6 field goal attempts per game. This game she's got 15. She's no good on both of those free throws, and now a foul is called the other way. So this final minute of play, Jared, getting a bit extended with the number of free throw attempts, but every point counts as we think about that tiebreaker, and it's a bit of an awkward one. But when you've got two teams that split their games, as you know, Redeemer is on pace to do with Sheridan, it does come down to these fine margins. Second free throw from Brown. Francis bounces out. Vinralti will get the rebound. She'll try and dribble past Blair. She'll pick it up. Brudenhill coming in on the cut. Does a nice job, but that one gets thrown away. So 20 seconds to go in this game. Redeemer leads by 9. Timeout called by Jesse Van Howlen. Perhaps to communicate the importance of closing out this game strong, despite the win being presumably in reach. Jared, what are your thoughts on the tiebreaker in terms of point differential? It's something that you see sometimes in soccer. You sometimes see it in hockey. Basketball, it seems a bit more uncommon to see it, especially across the professional ranks. But it's one that we've seen come into play often here in the OCAA.
Yeah, and, you know, it's only really exists because it needs to, right? Like, if you have two teams that are equal in record over the season and they split the season series, it's kind of unfortunate to have to decide it that way, but you have to in a way, and I think it is, a measure of how a team's performed kind of on average over the season. Like a win by 50 points is a win and a win by 1 point is a win, so it kind of takes into account some of the context of the season, and it kind of rewards the team that's had some very dominant games. So I don't think it's a bad measure to have to determine the playoff picture by. While it's unfortunate that it has to go down to win it all, I'm okay with that being the method that they chose, and I think it really does reward those teams that had those dominant games across the season.
For sure, and when you have a scheduling format where you play each team in your division twice and you never cross over, at least in the regular season, it's got to come down to something. And it is interesting to get to see these matchups happen twice a year, and we look forward to it. We got a turnover in the front backcourt here for Sheridan. Redeemer comes up with it, so they'll have a fresh 14. That pass was inbounded by Kolar, but it went off of a Sheridan player. And so Redeemer with a front court inbound, 6-second differential, game clock, shot clock. Lazenby inbounds it to Brudenhill, and she'll be happy to take as much time as she can off the clock here. She'll kick it out. DeYoung for three, no good. Rebounded by Hoogland. Hoogland's got it, and she will be fouled. So how about Abigail Hoogland coming up with a huge offensive rebound here late in this one off the missed three-pointer from DeYoung. Hoogland's got her 6th rebound of the game, and she'll have a chance to get double-digit points on the night if she can knock down one of these shots from the line. And so there you go. Abigail Hoogland coming up with the game. With this 74-point output, it does equal the most points scored in a game this season for Redeemer, which beats out their 71-point performance against Conestoga, their only other win on the year, for that matter, which came on November the 4th. So Redeemer now leads by 11. Sheridan potentially looking at some quick trigger threes to try and bring this one level. They'll most certainly advance the ball after the timeout. As, we get set for looking at Redeemer with their second win of the game here at home. Second game of the year, sorry.
Yeah, but a 4-possession game, 13 seconds, that is the tallest order that has possibly ever been served. But we'll see if, like you said, Sheridan can knock down a couple threes, because that point differential being key with this kind of close bottom of the table. That could materialize at the end of the season.
And they've certainly got some players that can hit them. Jazara Brown-Francis with 2 triples in this one. Stephanie Blair, we've seen her stretch the floor, as well as Katie Wu on one occasion each. So we'll see what the defensive choice is for the Royals, potentially even to give up a 2. But we'll see Van guarding the ball. It'll be Brown-Francis to inbound. She's going to kick it to the corner. Here's Kolar, and she gets inside. No good on the rebound. DeYoung picks it up. It doesn't look like Sheridan's going to foul. Oh, a risky pass from DeYoung. Redeemer still has to get it over half, but Brudenhill will do so. And this game will come to a close. Redeemer picks up the win against the Sheridan Bruins. The final score, Redeemer 75, Sheridan 64. A fantastic performance by Sydney Lazenby, 22 points, 12 rebounds, including going 3 for 7 from beyond the arc. And she also had 7 assists, leading the Royals in points and assists. 3 players for Redeemer end up in double-digit rebounds. Sophia Van with 10 rebounds to go along with her 14 points. Caitlin Kolar leads the Sheridan Bruins with 13 points on the game in a losing effort. With the win, Redeemer moves to 2-9. Sheridan will fall to 2-8. And as we mentioned, the 11-point win gives Redeemer the tiebreaker on point differential. So a great result here for Coach Van Howlen and the Royals, and something to certainly build on moving forward.
Speaking of moving forward, could maybe take a look at Redeemer's next fixture in the OCAA.
So yeah, Redeemer taking on Fanshawe Falcons next Saturday. They will get the week off to prepare for that one. So an entire week to prepare for a team that is, in a winning record. 7-3 is the record. A team that did beat the team they just faced, the Bruins, pretty handily last Sunday. So it'll be a real test for Redeemer. We saw these two teams, Redeemer and Fanshawe, face off here earlier in the season last semester, and Fanshawe came up with the win. So that'll be a good test for the Royals, but some encouraging signs, I think, Jared. I really appreciated the ball movement, I think, in a lot of areas. Talia Brudenhill not relied so much to score. She had 5 assists in this game, at least 3 of those coming off of kick-out threes. We saw DeYoung really stretch the floor. Talia had 2 threes of her own. So I think that inside-out presence is going to be something to build on.
Absolutely. Well, we have the men warming up in front of us right now. They're taking on the Bruins as well, who beat them earlier this season. But as for this broadcast, for myself and Will, we thank you for joining us this afternoon. We hope you will tune in again for the men's game and for our further streams later in the season. We will see you in a few moments for the men's game, hopefully. But as for this broadcast, Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later.